Okay, so another question that's often asked is, why do I feel drained after helping certain people? And I'm going to go ahead and say, you feel drained after helping all the people. You feel drained after helping all the people, but there are people who you like. For one, when you help people that you like, you feel less drained because you get more energy. You get more energy. It doesn't mean that the draining didn't happen, right? You just got energy after the draining task. Second, besides it depending on the task, right? Besides, there's nuances to this, like, why do I feel more drained after helping certain people? There's nuances to that because it also depends on the task. No task, like, none of these tasks are weighed the same. You know what I'm saying? So, is that person helping you do the task? Do you like this person? And is the person actually helping you do the task? So, that also helps with draining. It doesn't mean that every person that you're helping is an energy vampire. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes tasks take a lot out of you. Every task takes something out of you, right? You have to have energy to do these tasks. Every task takes something out of you. When you do tasks for yourself, right, and they're draining, does that make you an evil person? Do that mean you're an energy vampire? Like, no. It just means that you're drained after doing those tasks and you need to monitor your energy levels better. Let's be honest, this world doesn't really teach us how to monitor our energy levels. It's just, this world is always saying do, or you're lazy. Or you're lazy, just lazy, lazy, lazy. And it just hurls insults at you when you don't want to do something, when you don't want to have a goal, when you don't want to accomplish, when you're not passionate, when you're not driven. It's just, it's always something demeaning. Have y'all ever noticed that? That when you don't want to do something, the only thing that comes after that is something demeaning. No one ever really goes, oh, you don't want to do that? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, just respecting. We have just now come into the age of, oh, you don't want to do that? Okay. And then just leaving it alone. You know what I'm saying? How long have we been in the age of just demeaning people and just like trying to verbally accost them because of the fact that they don't want to do something? It has not been long. It has not been long. I wouldn't even give it 5 years since we came out of the age of verbally accosting someone because they just wanted to sit down instead of getting up to do the thing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like draining tasks. Am I right? Like every task. Like I was saying, every task is draining. Every task takes something out of you, and everyone is not necessarily evil because more tasks are draining than others. This is something that you have to. For one, a lot more of us need to know our bodies and need to know our limitations. A lot more of us need to know that when we're getting tired and when it's time to stop. And the stopping point, right, isn't when you're in rage. The stopping point isn't rage. The stopping point isn't when you're huffing and puffing. The stopping point is about that halfway point, maybe even at that 75% point where it's like, oh, okay, no, let me just go ahead and take a rest. Let me go ahead and sit down real quick. A lot of us need to be more in tune with our bodies, right? And then on top of that, a lot more of us need to, after you're able to gauge your body, you are then able to gauge the task. And how much energy that task is going to take, right? So I feel like once we get those points down, then we'll really just be able to see like who is that energy vampire, who knows that I don't have the energy after me telling them and communicating with them that I don't have the energy for these specific tasks, who is then consistently and still asking me to do this specific task without, one, helping me, or two, giving me my energy back, right? In some shape, form, or fashion, giving some sort of energy back. And then at those points, that's who you find out is the real energy vampire. And then just to even add a little bit more to that, it also doesn't matter if that person had your best interest in mind when presenting all of these draining tasks. It doesn't matter if they had your best interest in mind. What matters is whether or not they are listening to you when you're presenting, right? When you're communicating, when you're telling about not having the energy to do these certain tasks and having to repeatedly tell this person and them constantly, overstepping the boundary. That is who you know doesn't care about, your energy, whether or not you have the energy to do something, right? That is who you know, like, is your energy vampire in your circles. Because we do not just expect people to know these things. We do communicate them and we do tell them. Um, even though it's very apparent when you see that someone is drained or when an activity is not for someone, even though that's very apparent, we still want to go that extra step to communicate things with people because that's just what you do. Word of mouth is just the easiest form, easiest way of communication, and the easiest way to keep documentation of, whether or not a person was paying attention. Kind of universal. Whether or not a person was paying attention, communication is that universal thing that we use, right? Even so, when body language fails, when the task itself actually fails, communication is typically like that last stand. But yeah,